Report that's finding Tesla's South Buffalo plant is falling dramatically below its target of producing and installing 1,000 solar roofs a week. Global energy consulting firm Wood Mackenzie found that Tesla only installed 3,000 total since 2019. It's a fraction, just 2% of the 169,000 that you would have expected by now. Investigative Post's Shoemaker reported on this earlier today, and Dale joins me now live. All right, Dale, we've talked about these problems at the South Buffalo plant, and it was originally intended to make these solar panels, right? What are we to make of this Wood Mackenzie report laying out these just really surprising numbers?
Yeah, so the biggest takeaway from this new report is that the reason that Tesla came to Western New York in the first place, the company is not fulfilling that promise. Now, to take everybody back here, the original tenants of the South Buffalo factory were supposed to be an LED light manufacturer and Solivo, which made component parts for solar panels. Solivo eventually gets bought out by Solar City, a solar panel company run by Elon Musk's cousins, the Reeve brothers. And when Tesla buys Solar City out in late 2016, he uses the introduction of the solar roof as a way to convince shareholders to allow that sale to go through. They do a flashy demonstration in October of 2016. The investors love it, and the sale goes through. Now, what we later learned in documents, because there was a lawsuit tied to that sale, is that when they were rolling this out, they eventually said, you know, we're going to make this in Buffalo, and he says this publicly later. Elon Musk eventually says that the factory here in Buffalo is going to make 1,000 solar roofs per week and then later install 1,000 solar roofs per week. We've learned since 2020, they've only made and installed 3,000 solar roofs, which is 2% of what they would have made otherwise.
And this report further raises serious questions about the ability for them ever to achieve production goals, right? I mean, it's not, is it expected this is going to get better?
So that's kind of the thing here, is that Tesla doesn't have necessarily production goals at this factory. The state is holding them because, again, the state built this factory for $1 billion, $959 million, and Tesla pays $1 a year to the state of New York to rent this thing. And so they don't have production goals for a volume of product they're making. They only have to employ a certain number of people, and they have to make a certain investment. Tesla is meeting both of those goals at this point, and so the state says, you know, we're happy with that. And they can essentially use the factory for whatever they want.
Finally, I just want to ask you about the transparency part of this, right? Because presumably we could have known this a long time ago, but it's so difficult, in some cases impossible, to get any information from Tesla, but also from the state of New York. I mean, the citizens and taxpayers here shelled out almost $1 billion to build that place.
Sure, that's an excellent point. I mean, this is a number that Tesla, we can presume, never wanted to be made public. And we only were able to get this number thanks to a consulting firm that had access to kind of important private company data. And so, yeah, this is a revelation. This kind of echoes reporting that, you know, I was here talking about in January, where we, you know, reported that solar operations at the factory were much less than originally intended. And today, or with this report, we've learned that they are significantly less than even we initially reported.
2% of what they had hoped to achieve by now. Incredible. You can read more of Dale's reporting at investigativepost.org. Thanks for coming in. Good to see you.
Thanks, Michael.